Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. It's been a while since I did a recent finds video. I had so many recent finds that I had to break it up into two separate videos. But the first video I'm doing now is going to be 8 records that are mega grails for me that I ended up finding over the past month. It's been a very good month of finding good records for me. Usually my recent finds videos go on for a while, and I usually have a huge stack that I have to just really blaze through. I have a smaller stack today that I really want to take a little bit more time per album to show you. This is stuff that I've been looking for a really long time. I've gotten down in my personal collecting. My habits have changed to where I really am trying to only, this is always the goal, to only take home what you really want, you know, but I'm also trying to bring stuff from my collection at the house, and I've put a lot of my collection in the shop this month actually. We've still been finding really good stuff, but as I take things home, I try to make sure that I keep my hoarding under control. So I'm refining that, you know, collecting is just a process of refining what you really need and you want. And so now it's really quality over quantity control for me. So first one that I want to show you guys, this is an album I've wanted for years. Extremely rare. And if you guys know me, you know this is a grail find for me. This is Rodriguez Cold Fact. This is an original U.S. press in the shrink. It's a Sex label. Man, if you've seen Searching for Sugar Man on Netflix, a lot of people, that's their tie to Rodriguez. But Rodriguez was an incredible songwriter, way underrated, ahead of his time. Just, this is a phenomenal record. Cold Fact is my favorite Rodriguez record. But he's just amazing. He didn't even know he was famous in South Africa. It's a great story. If you haven't seen it, watch the documentary Searching for Sugar Man. But they didn't make a whole lot of these in the U.S., and the ones that they did make are very scarce and rare. This was in the shrink. The only issue with it's got a little bit of a water stain right there, but other than that, this is a really nice copy. The vinyl is near mint. Beautiful, and I've been looking for one of these for a really long time. So this is one that could not believe I was able to find this month, and thrilled to own this record. This is just tip-top level, great stuff. Another one, big shout out to Nico. If you follow him on, he has Instagram and YouTube and stuff, but Nico's this incredible record collector in the vinyl community. He's got just a mind-blowing prog collection and site collection, unbelievable. But I think his name on YouTube is Nico Malcolm, but the guy, his collection is top-notch, high-level stuff. And he had 2 copies of this, so he offered one up for sale, and I grabbed it, and he was super kind. He actually, I didn't even talk him down, but he's like, hey man, I'll drop the price a little bit for you since you got to pay so much for shipping to get it to the U.S. And so I really appreciate that. He's super kind. But this is, you guys know, Piper that Gets Dawn. This is a first UK press on the Columbia label. Really beautiful copy. This is one I've always wanted since I was a kid. I saw pictures, you know, of this original Columbia label, and I always had a reissue growing up because the first I bought, I've told the story a million times, but the first copy I bought was like an 80s Japanese press, and I didn't even know what it was, but I got it for $2 when I was a kid. But so I never really had an original when I was young, and so I was like, man, that UK is really cool. And also, you know, the whole deal with you know, if you have the first US press on Tower, they completely butchered the track listing. They cut out some songs and added a single, and it's just that's not the way this album was intended to be heard. The you know, US Tower track listing. So this is the original UK track listing. Incredible find. This is one of my favorite records. I say that too much, I understand, but I love this record so much. I grew up kind of realizing that Pink Floyd was 2 different bands, you know, and this early Floyd was a totally different thing than Dark Side of the Moon of Pink Floyd. And Just kind of having an appreciation for both bands, really. And this is just it's an artifact. It's really incredible. So in that same vein, but not really, I was in the shop, and this guy, friend of mine that comes in, and he's been selling me his collection in chunks, a little bit at a time. And he's going to end up selling me all of it, but he brings me a few hundred records a week. And he brought me a box of records. He said, there's a lot of David Bowie in this box. He's like, and I know there's a really rare one in there, his first one. And I was like, I doubt his first one's in there, because his first one is really, really rare. A lot of people think his first one's Space Oddity, but I mean, that's an early one, but it's not his first one. His first one is this, David Bowie, self-titled on Durham. I've heard it said both ways, however you want to say it. This is a first U.S. press, stereo press. I couldn't believe this was in there. And I paid him pretty well for it. It's not a perfect copy, but the vinyl plays really well. It's got some seam splits and stuff, but it's still like it's a very respectable copy. I've been looking for one for a long time. For me, David Bowie was a little bit of an acquired taste. When he passed away, I remember not being into his music even at that point. So I was kind of a late bloomer with him, and during that time, somebody had posted something online about, it was Biggie Smalls and Ziggy Stardust. I think it was called Biggie Stardust or something like that. But it was a mashup between, this is a dumb way to be getting into David Bowie, but it is. I love Notorious B.I.G., and so I listened to it, and it was just amazing. Couldn't believe it, and I was like, man, David Bowie, I'm liking the backtracks of this. And so I got into, the Ziggy Stardust album, and that was kind of my intro. Then I found this album, which is David Bowie's second album. This is extremely rare also. So this is the first pressing on Mercury. This is the same album as Space Oddity. So basically, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, when that came out in 1972, RCA, they were like selling a lot of those records. And so they're like, hey, let's put out his this one's also called David Bowie. It's kind of confusing, but let's put out this record under the name Space Oddity, because Space Oddity's on this. It's a killer track. So this one is really good. But these are two kind of rare U.S. David Bowie things. This one is mega rare. I've never seen one before. So super excited to have that one and add it to the collection. I mean, if you want to know what this sounds like, the reason why I said in the same vein, but not really, this is early. This is an early artist really trying to find his footing. You could still, that legend David Bowie is still there. He's present in this. You can still hear it, but you could tell he's trying to also fit, and he didn't. This album did so bad that the label dropped him, and he had to scurry and find something else. They must have felt stupid later, probably. But David Bowie, you guys know this, but such a huge influence to so much music after him. This is a really incredible piece of history, and I love it. So, moving right along. This is one friend of mine brought me a few records at the shop. He knew they were going to go in my collection because I'd asked him for some of these, and he was excited to help me get those. This one is Spermol. I realize I'm probably saying that wrong. That goes without saying. But this is on the Brain label, that legendary Brain label. Guys, this is an insane record. And this is actually, as rare as it is on Apple Music and Spotify, I believe. So if you want to listen to this, you probably can. It's not that hard to find. But Spermol is a word, German word, obviously. And from my understanding, it means like garbage that you put out on the sidewalk. It's really funny, like, that's just garbage. In the English language, it just is garbage. But in German, like in a lot of other languages, their language is a lot more specific. In English, it's just like trash, garbage, But this is not just garbage, but like furniture and larger garbage that you put on the curb. I think, you know, I had a translator one time. I used to play music in South America a little bit, and he was like, "Let me put it to you like this: you're getting good at Spanish, but not really." He's like, "Let's say you know 1,000 words in English, you could kind of speak English. You know 1,000 words in Spanish, you could speak Spanish like a toddler." I'm like, okay. So anyways, so English I think might be a little easier to learn than any other language. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. This is a bass melter of a record. Just phenomenal. Just nasty organ and guitar riffs. This is so good. It's you know, krautrock, prog, hard rock, but it's hard, and that organ is just thick, juicy, nasty, incredible organ work, and then the guitar riffs are just off the charts, out of this world, mind-blowing stuff. This is a record, if you like that type of thing, this will melt your brain. You need to find this, at least online, to listen to, because it is gnarly. Next one, kind of from that same dig, I guess, is from my friend. It's not a dig, he brought it to me. But this is Dan Miller, Leith Corbett, Reflections of a Pioneer. This is one that I didn't know anything about. And he's like, "You'll love this." And I kind of, while we were talking, threw it on, listened to some tracks. I was like, yeah, this is killer. Now, this is Australian hard rock. I don't know a lot about this record other than I've listened to it, and it's amazing. And it's really hard to find, and it's really rare. It was only released in Australia. But this is Australian hard rock. I believe it's 1970. Just incredible stuff. And really, really very rare. So this one I don't have a whole lot to say about, but it's that really cool spin label. And I'm looking forward to digging in deeper and this and listen to it a little bit more. But it's got some good like blues rock, hard rock vibes to it. And it's a rarity and it's cool and it tickles my collector bone. So I kept it. This is one that's regional to North Carolina. This is called Dry Water. Southpaw is actually the name of the album, but the name of the band is Dry Water. Two brothers, last name Dry, D-R-Y-E, from Charlotte, North Carolina, where we are hail from. Thank you, Wanda, for ruining the cover. But this one's in decent shape. You know, I had one of these in a collection a couple years ago. Didn't really... I needed to make my money back on the collection. I had spent a good bit, and so I sold it. I think at the time that one I sold for $300 or something. So it's pretty rare. It's pretty hard to find, and I regretted it. That's one record I regretted selling because there's only 500 of these were ever made, allegedly. But it's world renowned as being a killer hard rock album, 1974, I believe. But it's just like a regional, really cool Charlotte thing, but also like people know it all around the world. It's well known to be really good hard rock. So it's that early 70s hot and heavy hard rock that everybody loves, you know, that people describe like Sabbath. This isn't as like doomy as Sabbath is, but it's really good. But I would encourage you, wherever you are, no matter where you are in the world, there's local stuff that came from your area that is rare and tough to find, but you have the best chance of running through it if you're in that area. So get to know that local stuff and dig it up and rescue it, because it could be lost forever. Otherwise, there's a lot of bad music that was made, but if you can dig the good stuff out and save it, that's what's important. Story of my life. I love it. But Dry Water, really killer North Carolina stuff. This is The Dog That Bit People. This came out in 1971. This is the same band as before this. They had an album called the band was called Locomotive. The album was called We Are Everything You See. That one I think is a little bit more well known than this one. Neither of them are well known. They're both like extremely rare and obscure and expensive and difficult to find. Look this up on Discogs and let the prices on there blow your mind. It's an expensive record. But Locomotive, We Are Everything You See is pretty expensive as well. That one came out in 1970. This one came out in 1971. But both really good. UK psych. Great stuff. But that is one you might want to look up. I think you can only listen to it on YouTube. This is a pretty rare record. But Highly recommended. It's a cooker, a steamer. Good stuff. This next one is Mother Earth's Plantation. This is warm earth music for plants and the people who love them. Mort Garson did this. This is a really cool record, and it's expensive record because it's really hard to find. It was never sold. It was given out free. I think it was sold in a plant store in California. They sold them. Or it was given away free with a Simmons mattress at Sears. That is a sticker from Sears saying that it was given with the mattress. But those are the only ways you could get this record, 1976. But this is widely known as one of the earliest, most influential electronic records. He used Moog synthesizer. And the first time you hear it, you're like, man, this is kind of weird. This is kind of just goofy, like cheeky, weird record. But like when you listen to it, get past that, it is a really phenomenal record, and it's really cool. If you like synthesizer stuff, like I love a good Moog. I love a good spacey synth solo type thing. This is all synth. And I mean, they've actually done studies that certain types of music do help plants grow more than others. Allegedly, there's a lot involved. You can Google it if you want. I could give you a lot of speculations, but I won't because they're not facts. This is an original press. They just re-released this, I believe, recently because it was such a collector's item. Like people were looking for it so much that they finally re-released it. And so I think you can get a reissue of it pretty easily and cheaply. But this is a really, really cool synthesizer record that's got just... the composition on it's insane. Mort Garson had this vision of doing this, and it was just a really cool project that he got initially no recognition for, probably very little, if any, compensation for. So it's just kind of cool. It was a passion project for him, pretty much, and it really, I think it influenced a lot of people in the future. So this is a really cool record. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. And check out some of my other videos as well. If you want to stay up to date with all of our stuff, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. We're most active on Instagram, so check us out on Instagram at Noble Records. And again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. We will see you next time.